Mr. Gimenez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that that communists, especially the CCP, they don't like carrots. Actually, they view carrots as a sign of weakness, and they'll take advantage of the carrot. But after that, they'll go about their own business, and that the only thing that they understand is strength. Do you agree with that, Mr. Shum?
Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Quasi?
Yes.
Ms. Lonsberry? Okay. Now, put on your futurist and you're seeing the future, Mr. Shum, and tell me, what is the fate of American companies in the short term, the medium term, and the long term that are doing business in China today?
That's interesting. I think I do think the Chinese economy is sinking. So in the short term, everybody's issue is how do I diversify my operation? And then it's reglobalization minus China. So that's in the short term. I think in the medium term, everybody is looking, so how bad is where the Chinese economy is going to go? And then the heightened risk of the Taiwan Strait, how do I de-risk that issue? And I think long-term wise, I think everybody, I mean, to be frank, I think, you look at globally, Europe is in its own mess. China with Asia with unpredictable and menacing power, creating waves in Asia, all the capital is coming to the U.S. So I think, you talk to any major large investors, they are looking at basically, how do I allocate, bulk of my bets are in the U.S., and I will do sporadic bet based on growth market opportunities.
This was American companies now. The fate of American companies in China. Is that what you answered? Was that your answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Quasio, how do you see it?
I think it's always been the case that you can do business in China, obviously under the rules of the party. We pretended like that wasn't the case for a long time, but the fact is that has been the case, that will be the case moving forward. You have to invest probably eventually in the sectors that the party wants you to go. If you are aligned with their vision, you succeed as a firm. If you're not, you don't. And that's the general direction at the macro level. It's going to stay true.
Ms. Lonsberry?
And if that is true, then that means we are replaced.
Correct.
Because
right. We die.
Discuss that. Yeah.
We die. Okay. What do you see the future of American investors and their capital in the CCP in China? Same thing. Let's go backwards, though. You're first.
I'm first this time.
Yes.
I think investors need to take off the rose-colored glasses and make sure they know what they're investing in. For example, if you look at just pension funds, we are investing pension funds into Chinese state-owned enterprises. Those state-owned enterprises have the same risk that we've just been discussing. So your pension funds are at risk because the Chinese Communist Party can do whatever it wants, whenever it wants. It can shut off market. It can,
Can they take?
It's not good.
Can they take them? In other words, say, okay, thank you for your investments. They're ours now, and that's it. It's over. Is there a risk with that?
Absolutely.
So billions and billions of dollars that Americans, everyday Americans, are investing in their pension funds, 401s, et cetera, are at risk if they invest in China today.
I would say yes, and the problem is I don't think most Americans know where their pension funds are invested. And so when you do dig deeper, if you do know enough to look there, you'll see that that is a risk.
So I think that's fair enough. Look, my colleague from Florida, talked about the Biden administration and the restrictions they're about to place. Mr. Shum, your response I found interesting. You said that basically that those restrictions are mirroring what the CCP is actually doing today. Is that correct?
Yes, they're doing exactly the same thing. Actually, they're pushing it harder and stronger than the American system is pushing it.
So the Biden administration is actually mirroring what the CCP is already doing in China?
No, I'm not saying mirroring. I think both sides are actually pushing for, effectively are pushing for decoupling.
Well, I'll end with this statement. A very prominent businessman in Miami wanted to do business in Miami. He brought a consultant to Miami to teach all his managers how to do business in Miami, or sorry, in China. And finally, the consultant said, but you have to remember this, that in China and the CCP, it's not about, you know, a win-win situation. It's not even about they win more and you win less. It's about they win, you die. Do you all agree with that? Thank you very much, and I yield back.